All right, I know, but hear me out. Please hear me out. I know you clicked on this and you're like, Adrian, what in the world is going on? Where is the damn video? Where is it? I know I promised you that from now on I was gonna be uploading videos in like content in video format, and that's what I've been doing for the past month, literally the entirety of last month. But I've just been having a lot of technical issues. I don't know what's going on. I don't know what I did in my past life to deserve this, but I don't know. I feel like every force in the universe right now is working against me. Things are just not working well. I do stuff, I record videos, things go wrong, and this and that happen, and it's just been a hustle. Let me tell you, it's not been fun at all, and I've had to scrap a lot of videos because of that. And it was either between I'm just not gonna post anything until I fix stuff and things start going well for like a month or two, and to me that is a lot without being consistent and posting content on here. And I know I promised you that I was going to be consistent for this entire year, because it's what I've been doing since last year and the beginning of this year, and I'm going to continue to do that. I promise you that, and that's what we're going to keep doing. Okay, so it was either between I'm not going to post anything or I'm going to post something but in audio format. So I know this is going to be boring, but listen to this like a podcast, okay? Listen to this like a podcast. I don't know. Go clean your house, do some dishes, do some chores around the house. So if you're driving, play this when you're like driving and listen to this like a podcast while I try to figure things out and fix that. The moment all of that is fixed, we're going to go back to audio, okay? We're going to go back to video format. But for now, listen to this like a podcast, okay? God, I don't know what I did to deserve this, but please fix all of this stuff for me. But without further ado, let's get into it. Hello everyone, it's Adrian, and you're welcome back to the channel where I talk about my unfiltered thoughts and opinions that nobody asked for. If that sounds like something that you're into, like and subscribe. And without further ado, let's get into today's episode. Now, I know that last year I did things I no longer believe in. That was a part 1, and I told you guys that I was going to do a part 2 at some point. So this is it. This is where the magic is going to happen right now. We're going to be doing a things I no longer believe in part 2, as you can see from the title. And without wasting any time, let's get into it. First thing first, hard work equals to success. No, lies. And let's talk about it. For the longest time, I always believed that hard work equals to success. It doesn't matter who you are, where you are, or what the odds are. If you're someone who's working really hard and is like pouring their heart and soul, blood, sweat, and tears into something, and you're just like putting so much work into it, there is no other way but for it to like succeed. That was my mindset, and it's no longer my mindset. I no longer believe that hard work only is equals to success. And I know that there's a lot of people out there who still believe this. They still believe that if you work hard enough, it doesn't matter what it is that you're working on, you're guaranteed to succeed. And I'm sorry to like bust your bubble, but you're not guaranteed to succeed just because you're working hard on something. That is literally a myth. It's a lie. This is not like grounded in real life and real life experiences. It's not true. It's a lie. Just because you're working hard, it does not mean that you're guaranteed to be successful. It's a lie. And I've really just been on both sides of the coin, where I worked on something for so long. I'm talking about sleepless nights, brainstorming ideas and like putting my heart and soul into a project where it's a project that I really am passionate about, and I'm trying to put something out there, and I put so much work into it, and then you put it out there in the world and nobody cares. Literally. People see it and they're like, yeah, I don't mess with that. It's I don't care about it, you know. And I've also been on the other side of the coin where I literally did not put that much work into something, and I put it out there and everybody just loves it. Literally everybody just like likes it and gravitate towards it, and I'm like, dude, there's all these other things that I've been working so hard on, that I poured my soul into it, that I'm proud of because I worked so hard on them, and I think they're just so like, I don't know, because I just did so much for them, but people just end up not liking it, or the thing just ends up not being as successful as I thought it was gonna be. But then you do something and you don't care about it, or you don't put that much thought into it, and then boom, it blows up. Everybody likes it. Everybody wants it. Everybody thinks it's like this brilliant ideas. Most especially this goes to creative people. This could be, I don't know, actors, singers, writers, just a creative person in general, where you start a project that you're really passionate about, and you put so much into it. You put your soul and hard work and all this effort, with this expectation that other people are going to be able to connect to it as much as you connect to it, and be able to love it as much as you love it, and be able to relate to it as much as you do. And then you put it out there and nobody cares. You put it out there, nobody cares, nobody wants to know, nobody thinks it's that brilliant, nobody thinks it's this genius kind of like an idea. You spend so much time making this, I don't know, piece of art, whether it's like painting, and you do all these things and you're like, yeah, this is the one. Then you put it out, nobody cares, nobody wants to see it, nobody thinks it's brilliant, and it just like breaks your heart, as an artist and as someone who's like working super hard on something, and you put it out there and nobody cares it. That's really like disappointing. It really is like heartbreaking. It is. It's not a fun experience to go through. It's not a fun thing when you've like poured your heart into something, and then it doesn't end up being successful, and you work so hard, but then somebody else comes and do the same thing that you did, but they didn't put that much thought into it, or that much hard work into it, and then they end up succeeding. And it's like they don't even want it. Like that person is not even passionate about that thing like I am. They're not as passionate as I am about this field, or about this piece of art or work or whatever you're working on. And I got to do so much, put so much into it, pour my heart into this thing, and nobody cares about it. Nobody wants it. Nobody wants to watch it. Nobody wants to listen to it. Nobody wants to read it. Nobody wants to look at it. They just don't think it's that brilliant or interesting, or just, and it's, oh my god, it's so frustrating. But then again, somebody else come and does the same thing, and everybody loves it. And I've been, again, on both sides of the coin, where I worked on something so hard and then nobody cares about it. But then I've also been on the other side, where I literally didn't put any work or any thought into something, and I just put it out there, and everybody just ends up connecting with it. Everybody ends up liking it, and I'm like, dude, why do you like this? I did this other thing that I put so much hard work into, and you don't like that one, and you like this thing that I didn't even care about that much. This is what you like. And yeah, going back to the same thing, just because you worked hard on something does not guarantee that it's going to be successful. You're not guaranteed success, and even when you look at like the most successful people out there, or like the wealthiest people, the like billionaires of the world, they're neither the most hardworking nor the smartest people you will ever meet. That is just facts. They're not the smartest people, or like the most hardworking. There are people who work way, way hard in this world, and they get nothing. They get paid peanuts for their hard work, but then somebody comes along that isn't that hard working, or that hasn't put that much work and effort and talent into something, but then they end up being successful. And I know that's like really frustrating, but that's how the world is. The world is not fair. It's never been. It's not right now. And honestly, I don't think it will ever be. Just because you're working super hard on something, it does not automatically mean that you will be guaranteed success. And I'm not telling you this to discourage you. I'm not telling you this so that you like stop working hard on that one thing or that one dream, but that's just the sad and bitter reality of the world that we live in. You can work on something so hard and end up achieving nothing, and somebody else can come and work and not even put that much work or thought or like talent into something, and then they will end up succeeding. And I used to have this idea of like, oh, just because you're working hard on something, then you will be guaranteed success. And that's just a lie that we keep telling ourselves. Like, yes, you should work hard. And yes, I am working hard, and I continue to work hard on things that I care about and my creative endeavors, but it's not guaranteed. It's not guaranteed that it's going to end up being successful. But to me, obviously, I'm delusional and I do not care. When I go into something, I'm like, yeah, this is going to succeed. I don't care how long it's going to take. I don't care what's going to happen. At the end of the day, it's going to end up succeeding. I don't care what I need to do. I'm going to get there. But it's just a reminder that I used to believe that just because someone is working hard on something, then it means that they're like guaranteed success. And that's just a lie. It's not true. You should work hard, but just know that the success is not guaranteed. It's not. Moving on to the next one. Good people having happy endings. Now, oh God, how many of us have like watched movies of like, that one character that like suffers for like their entire life, like the entire movie, or like all the chapters in the book, they're just like suffering, and then the end is like rainbows and butterflies, and they're like happy, finally found their person, or ended up achieving that success or the thing that they've always wanted, and ending up happy and having that happy ending. And that's just a lie, dude. I used to believe in that, and I no longer believe in that. I don't think that everybody gets to have a happy ending. If you think that all the people that did you wrong will end up having like their karma, again, karma is something that I try to believe in. I believe in it, but also I do not. It's very much like 50-50, because I can tell you there are people who have done the most atrocious thing to other people, and they're out there living their best life. No consequences whatsoever. They're living their best lives. They've met their significant other. They're a person that they've always wanted to be with. They're wealthy. They're doing all these things. Life is good. Every single good thing that you can possibly think about is on their feet, and they get to have it. And they're like a horrible person. They've like probably like, I don't even want to go to the extremes, but they've killed people. People are suffering, are in the worst situations and conditions right now because of them. Everybody's suffering because of these people. And guess what they're doing? They're out there living their best life, and it's just a lie to think that everybody will have a happy ending and those people who did you wrong will get their karma. No, I don't think so. Not necessarily, So unless you get to this point where you just make peace with whatever happened and you choose to move on with your life and do your own thing, and instead of being stuck in this mindset of being like, oh, they will get their karma, and I will have and I'll end up having a happy ending. No, if you don't get up and do something about it and actually try to build your own life and your own path so that you maybe can end up having a happy ending, I don't think it's also guaranteed. Just because you're a good person, I don't think you're guaranteed to always have a happy ending. And I always have this like deluded view on this, thinking that just because I'm a good person and just because I play by the rules and do all these right things, then it automatically means that I will always have a happy ending and the people who do wrong will have like their karma. No, that's a lie. That's a lie. It's not true. Yeah, it's not true. That person who's like a horrible person and is like stepping on everybody else to get to wherever they want to get to will almost get there. Will almost get the thing that they want to have, because they don't care about who they're willing to like step on or betray or take advantage of to get the thing that they want to get. They will always get it because they don't care who they get to throw under the bus. So this idea and this belief of good people will always have a happy ending, it's a lie. Yeah, I guess it's a thing that we all use to have or hold on to, this belief that we hold on to so that we can like cope with reality and feel better about ourselves. But in the end, just because you're a good guy does not mean that you will end up having a good ending. I'm just saying that's just not true. It's not rooted in real life and real life experiences. Moving on to number 3. Violence is not always the answer. No, but sometimes it is. Sometimes violence is indeed the answer. And I can't even begin to like, man, some people, it does not matter how many times you try to be good to them or you try to play a fair game with them, the only way for them to like listen to you and for you to like win and put them in their place and put them where they belong is sometimes for you to be violent. Like sometimes, yes, sometimes violence is indeed the answer. It is, and I'm so tired of acting like it's not. Sometimes it is. When you look at wars, sometimes the only way for people to like get along and reach to this point of like peace, I guess, is for there to be a war. Not always, but sometimes that's what have to like sometimes that's what has to happen. And even with people, like sometimes in order for somebody to like listen to you and have some respect for you, you have to like smash them with a chair or something, or like punch them in the face if you can. So this whole violence is not always the answer. I don't believe it. I used to like believe that, but no, sometimes violence is the answer. And I'm tired of pretending that it's not, because sometimes it is. And lastly, because I don't want this episode to be super long, is I used to think addicts were weak. And don't judge me, okay? Do not judge me. This is just, again, I'm just stating things that I used to believe in that I no longer believe in. But whenever I would meet people who had addictions, and whether it was like, I don't know, it could be anything, whether it's like cigarettes, alcohol, or like drugs and all of that, I always used to have this kind of mindset that, yeah, they're weak. You are weak. Like, what do you mean you're addicted to this little cigarette, or you're like addicted to this little powder thing, or it could be any bad habit. I always used to be just a little bit judgmental, being like, what do you mean you're addicted to that? You must be weak. In my eyes, growing up, if you were addicted to something and did not have the strength to change your life around and like get rid of that bad habit, to me, you were weak in my eyes. And obviously, I've grown up, I've seen life for what it is, and I've just come to the conclusion that no, just because somebody is addicted to something does not mean that they're weak. It doesn't. There are so many things that happen to people that lead them to end up in that position, and the reasons most of the time, the reason to why someone is addicted to something, the addiction is always the result of something. that is them coping. Addiction, that is not the real problem. That is basically the result of what you see. They suffer with something and they see the addiction or the, I don't know, the substance or whatever bad behavior we might be talking about here is their way of trying to like crawl out of that dark hole, if you know what I mean. And I've grown to just be more empathetic and to just learn more and understand that, yeah, not all addicts are weak. Just because somebody's addicted, it doesn't mean that they're a weak individual. And again, I'm not addicted to anything. I've never been, but I just used to be judgmental when it came to that topic. But obviously, now I've grown up, I've seen it for myself, and yeah, it's not always easy. Things are not always black and white. There are a lot of gray areas when we like talk about a lot of things, and there always has to be some kind of nuance. And if you're somebody who is struggling with that, my heart goes out to you. Again, I can't truly understand what you're going through or what you're feeling, but what I can just tell you is that my heart goes out to you, and I love you, and keep going, keep pushing. No, you're not weak just because you have an addiction. Literally, you're not, because most people can't even do that. And the fact that you're still here with us and you're still fighting and just you're still fighting and dealing with that and refusing to give up is more than enough, and I'm just here to tell you that I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you for staying here. I'm proud of you for keep going, and just keep going. Keep going. I'm always here to support you. Always. All the time. And my apology. I mean, when I had this belief, it was when I was a kid, but like now, obviously, I've grown up and I've grown to understand that that's not the case. And no, you're not weak. You're not weak just because you have an addiction. You're not weak just because you're having a hard time to like quit something. I don't know if it's smoking, substances, anything, any bad habit that you're like addicted to, and you're like, it's like ruining your life, and you're doing all this work to try and get rid of it or heal it. I'm here for you. I'm here for you. I can't say that I understand because I've never been addicted to anything, but my heart goes out to you, and no, you are not weak. You're not. You will get there. You're not. Just take it step by step. And again, I love you and care about you. Okay? So, yes, that's all I have to say for today's episode. It's also kind of long than I normally do, but yeah, that's all I have to say for today's episode. Again, I love you. I care about you. Take care of yourself, and let me know. Let me know down in the comments about what kind of beliefs that you used to have that you no longer have, and just basically things that you no longer believe in. And like and subscribe if you enjoyed this little hangout session, so that you can have more of this. And I'll see you guys on the next one. Yeah. I love you. Take care of yourself. Bye bye. I'm out. See you next time.